Now, live from Ernie's Cut Rate Liquor Store, shooting range, candle shop, bowling alley, massage parlor, it's the Dave and Doc Podcast.
Hello, hello.
Happy day, happy day. Welcome back.
Hey, it's good to see you, man.
Man, we made it. We made it.
Between popping out babies and everybody having COVID and whatever else, we're here.
I know. So it's good to see you, my friend.
It is. It's good to see you, too.
Glad everybody in your house is well.
I appreciate that.
Well, glad you didn't get sick.
I didn't.
That was awesome.
That was
awesome.
It was the weirdest thing. I had, some symptoms, and I felt pretty crappy for a couple days, but I never tested positive.
How about that?
I am pregnant. That's a weird test.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
God, I do.
Got to catch it midstream.
Jump off a cliff.
Got to catch it. Oh, no. We're not going to have to work anymore if that happens. we'll be selling that. It's like hotcakes. That's it. Well, welcome, folks.
Yes, it's good. It's good to be back. Show number 26, Dave and Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I am Doc.
As indicated if you're watching on YouTube, because we have the cute little emojis down there at the bottom of the screen.
It looks good.
You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, which is TuneIn plus Alexa now.
Oh.
So you know.
So you can say, hey, Alexa, play Dave and Doc?
I'm pretty sure you can. Look at that.
Dang.
I have not checked that out. Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, the podcast index. I did get a notification from a service called Deezer asking if I would like to be on Deezer. I have not responded, nor will I, because I don't know what the hell Deezer is.
Is that like Weezer?
I don't know.
Is that like Weasel Zappa or any Deezer? No. Skeezer. I know what Skeezer is.
Frank Zappa. Man, is that a real poncho or a Sears poncho? Cosmic debris. Oh, my God, I love me some Frank Zappa. You got to be in the right state of mind for the Zap, though.
Yes.
Yeah, and his son was Dweezil.
Yeah.
And his daughter was...
I don't remember his daughter's name. I just remember
Julie. Just kidding. No, it was something. Mary.
Deezer.
Yeah. We'll talk about Chelsea in a minute. No, she just texted me.
I was going to say, I was like, Dweezil and Frank Zappa made you think of Chelsea.
It did, yeah. Well, she has that nice Sears poncho.
Right. Naturally. Actually, she probably made one herself. And
she probably did.
Like just, airtight. Nothing's getting through.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of making things, which I don't, but somebody else came to the house and built a storage building out for me, which is, where all the IT stuff's going to go. That's right. So I'm pretty excited. I'll show you before you leave.
And it might be the layer.
It could be. It's got. We'll walk out there and look. Okay. We'll have to see.
Climate control.
I do have an air conditioning system for it.
Look at you.
Because of course I do. And
because you were thinking.
Because I was thinking
about the possibilities.
We'll talk about the story later of the people that came to install it. I forgot to tell you that. That's pretty good actually. But hey, it is the Dave and Doc Podcast. It is episode number 26.
And we're happy to be here.
We took a few weeks off because, again...
Had the birth of our son.
Yeah.
Bennett is in the world. and
of our son, yours and mine.
That's right. I mean, we're just, boys. I mean...
Right, we're all...
I mean, apparently I had to come and we had to have the podcast and talk a lot, and then I was able to make a boy.
That's right.
Had to catch the vibe. Had to catch the vibe. But no, he's doing well, and Mama's doing well, and the girls are really loving on him. So we're blessed. We're blessed. It's good. Little less sleep. Mama's tough. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Way tougher than any of us.
Yes.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Moms are always tough.
Got the trophy.
Yeah.
She only labored for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
She is a bad mamma jamma.
That's like a sneeze
with like no problems. Yeah.
Well,
her first push. It was like he kind of knew he was there, and then there he was. Like she moved him, and I was like, "Wow, honey, she was like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Yeah," and then boom,
wow,
it was impressive.
She was ready to.
It was impressive.
She was ready to pop.
Now we did not get any footage of the birth. Okay, there was none of that.
None of that.
No.
Yeah, we don't.
and nor the conception. That the cloud will get you now. So there's nothing. But it was.
I was going to post it on the website.
Right? No.
Pay-per-view.
Oh my God! No, but yeah, it went really well. We'll talk about a few things with that here.
I'm excited
because I've got some funny stuff. I've got the. I definitely did a funny. I messed up mildly, and we'll talk about that. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Yes. But we're glad to be here and glad, like I said, glad to be back in the habit. And without further ado, so people were missing us, man.
Yeah,
we've got 3 dad joke submissions this week.
That's right.
Because they I'm telling you, man, they were itching for it.
I know they were.
They were itching for it.
They were.
Still not another sponsor, but 3 submissions is huge.
It is. It's huge.
So, without further ado, so the first one is from Cindy.
Okay.
So, why do cows have hooves and not feet?
Why do cows have hooves
but
and not feet?
Because they lactose. That one was. I actually like. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good medical one. Yes,
that's funny.
All right. So the second one actually comes from Chelsea.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Did she send you a new one? We can do the new one.
No, she did not. Okay. No, it was something totally separate.
Okay. So people say grass ain't wet in the morning, but it do.
My Lord.
And then this one's for Jane. So what do you call a red-headed ninja?
What do you call a red-headed ninja?
A ginger.
That's for you, Anna. My friend Anna, she'll be rolling her eyes.
Those are pretty good, right?
Yeah, they were. That was good.
I mean, pretty good submissions.
I like it when people do the work for us.
Yes, right. I know.
Send us some other crap, and we'll just play your crap. And
absolutely, hey, we can talk about anything.
That's true.
For a long period of time.
That's very true.
I mean, we can rant. So yeah, please feel free. Dad jokes, whatever it is, football stuff. Speaking of football, well, I tell you what. Let's talk about the birth first.
Let's talk about baby first.
Let's talk about baby. So yeah, so baby was born July 8th at 11:29 a.m. Why so early, you say? Well, let me tell you why. So, Laura had not dilated.
Yeah.
And so they have to give a medicine called Cytotec, which ripens the cervix, which prepares to start the Pitocin to induce labor if you don't go into natural labor. So she was not going into natural labor. They thought he was going to be like a 9-pound whopper. They said, you can't go past your due date. Here's what we need to do. We need to get this all scheduled up. Said, okay. He ended up being 8 pounds and a half an ounce. So they missed it by a pound, which can happen. It can be plus or minus a pound. Because in my mind, I was like, my gosh, if they missed it by plus a pound, then we have 10 pounds trying to come, and it's like a wet St. Bernard trying to come through the cat door. So not good. Not good. But he was 8. He was 8, and she pushed him out like a champ. Like I said, labor for 10 minutes. It was the most amazing thing ever. I was like, she's just born to have kids, I guess.
Yeah.
There will be no more kids because she's over it, but she loves them. And boy, does he love his mommy.
Of course.
Oh,
of course he does.
Bennett loves his mommy. Yes, he can smell it. He knows when she's not around, which is really funny. It's really pretty cute. So on Thursday, we were supposed to go in to get the Cytotec.
Right.
And so I canceled part of my day because basically they were like, well, starting around about 3 o'clock, 3:30, we're going to start calling people in potentially to, who need this or whatever's going on.
Right.
And I'm like... And I was like, well, what happens if you don't get in there in a reasonable time? They're like, oh, we skip you, and then we don't know when you might get called in again.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, that's kind of like you're on call. That's crazy. So you don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, okay, I don't love that. But so I took part of my day off.
Right.
So at 10 o'clock at night, and Laura was doing a good job. She talked to the charge nurse on day shift, talking to the charge nurse on night shift. Mm-hmm. They had 5 people in kind of the queue, okay?
Right.
They were getting ready to potentially call the first person.
Right.
And they were nowhere near calling number 2. and we were number 4.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, this is not, because you can't just like make the baby come out.
Right. Right.
Well, and I'll come back to that because, I was wrong. So I'm sitting there going, okay, they're not going to call. If they do, it'll be like 3 or 4 in the morning, something like that. Okay,
right.
Fine. It's no big deal. So I don't go to bed. Okay.
Right.
What was I watching on TV? What was I watching?
Blazing Saddles.
No. Right. God almighty. I wasn't watching Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Knocked Up.
I was watching the Terminal List with Chris Pratt. Have you seen that?
I have not seen it.
That's actually pretty darn good. He's like a Navy SEAL.
Is it good?
And it's actually pretty good.
I've heard 2 sets of reviews on that. One that is the worst thing that they've ever watched, and one that it was amazing. Like the 2.
I'd put it in between. So I actually thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
I
like Chris Pratt.
Now the problem with these series that they're doing, it's almost like it's a movie. So there's like these gaps, and you're like, well, you didn't fill that in. So it's in a movie, you're like, okay, the movie cannot be, unless it's Lord of the Rings. It can't be 3.5, 4 hours long,
right?
Because you just can't. Nobody can sit there for that long without having to pee like 4 times,
right?
And your kids can't do it because they're like, listen,
yeah,
or they're going to tear the place up.
Right.
So I think that's part of why people aren't liking it, because it's the same thing with Reacher. If you watch Reacher, I really liked Reacher on Amazon. What's happening is was that Amazon? Yeah, that was Amazon. That was Amazon. There's like plot gaps, and I think that's what some people aren't liking. But anyway,
maybe it is.
Anyway, so I was watching the Terminal List. And so I didn't go to bed till 11:40 because I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll get like 4 or 5 hours sleep. We'll get called in. We'll go in. At worst case, we were probably going to be going in at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning anyway. And I was like, this will be fine.
Right.
So at 12:40, we get the call.
Ring, ring.
And so I was on the couch because somebody's got some swollen nasal turbinates from being pregnant. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that induces, but it involves breathing.
Yes.
And so I was on the couch,
right?
Because it was just one of those. And so we get there, we go in, and we get there about 2 o'clock because it took us a little bit to get. I mean, because you're in a dead sleep, so you got to get. I mean, the bags are packed, but we still kind of had to wake up, get ready. Right. I had to fix my hair, of course.
Of course.
She fixed her hair, took a shower, all these things. So we get there, we go through the ER. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So we're walking into the ER. And there's a woman out there. It's pretty clear what this woman's occupation is. Okay. And she's obviously been in the ER for something happening. She's got her garb on and everything. All of a sudden, she pulls out this spray can. Okay.
Spray can?
And I think it was like deodorant.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, it's...
What the hell?
It's like body spray. And so I'm like tripping out, laughing, I'm like holding my man. And Laura's like, we got to get inside. Yeah. So, full body spray. So that was the first thing that happened. Then we go into the ER.
How bad do you have to smell?
We didn't get that close because she was far enough away, but she was on the street. So that was pretty funny.
Maybe that's where she started.
So then we get inside, and there's 2 people in there.
Right.
One is going, who house is this? Who house is this? Who house is this? Just repeating incessantly. The other one is this lady who, bless her heart, I think, she just needed a place to try to, I guess, have some air conditioning because even at 2 o'clock, it was still like 90 degrees outside.
Of course.
And then she wanted everybody to help get her stuff and all this other stuff. And they're like, we're not getting your stuff. You're here like every day. So it took about 30 minutes to get through the ER, even though Laura had pre-registered. Anyway, we get up on the floor. They do the side tech, blah, blah,
Did you drive to the Bronx to that?
No. We were down near campus. I'll say that.
Yes.
We were near campus.
Yes.
So anyway, so get everything rolling. And there's anyway, it went about as good as it could. Let's put it that way. So they get everything going basically on day shift, and she has the baby pretty darn quickly without really any difficulty. But one of the things that happened was, Laura didn't take any pregnancy pictures, didn't do any maternity pictures. And so
not the once a week.
No,
to show the
or even just like the one-time formal ones with the kids, and all.
Everybody's all dressed up.
Everybody's looking sweet. Yeah, we didn't do any of that. We did that with the girls, but not with him.
He's a boy. He's tough.
He doesn't need it. So we're taking pictures.
Right.
We got the handy dandy iPhone.
Right.
And
which, how old is that iPhone? You're killing me.
I mean,
it's a 7, isn't it? Or an 8? It's an 8.
I mean, it might be an 8S.
It's an 8.
I mean, it might be. It's an 8. Yeah.
It's an 8.
No, it's an 8.
I know.
It's an 8S.
It's not an 8S. It's an 8. You're talking to the super nerd over here. I know what it is.
Whatever it is. It's an 8. I mean, I've had it for a little bit.
A little bit.
But I wasn't using this one. I was using the 13.
Okay. All right.
Well, so yeah, no, we're using hers. Better clarity. I know.
Right.
Better,
so you get this
stuff.
one.
Yes,
This one. That's
better stuff.
Much
better stuff. Right. Yes, much
like
better
this
stuff.
nice red
I was
color.
going to say like a 49er red.
Of course.
Oh, Jimmy.
Actually, I don't know if you can see the. I've got the Florida State.
And FSU. There you go.
And if you open it, it's the 49ers.
Of course it is. There you go. Some people have their kids. Dave has football.
Yeah.
That's it. I like
Kids.
it. I like it. Yeah. You got plenty of other pictures.
They get enough money from
So we're taking pictures. So I take a good one.
Right.
And then I was like, I'll zoom in.
Yeah.
Well, my phone is an 8. So I'm used to the camera, like actually what I see on the screen is actually what's being snapped. Well, if you zoom in, I didn't realize you have to kind of.
There's like brackets there that you gotta.
Yeah, you have to like. I mean, it's a little bit. It makes sense because it's a much cleaner image. Yes, it is.
Yes, because the technology changed.
So
like
we
9
took
times.
like 5 or 6. Thank you. Actually, more like 9 because yes, they worked in the whatever. Yeah, the X or whatever.
Mm-hmm. The 10.
Yeah. Look at you.
The 10 and the 10R.
So now we have one good kind of far away picture that looks good, but then we have several good ones that would have been really good, except from where my hand is down is all that you see. Anything above my pinky is cut out of the photo. I have become my mother. My mom either cut your head off or her pinky was in the photo back in the day. There's all these photos. It's like somebody's head cut off or there's a pinky in the. So that was good. So when she saw that, she was like, "Really? You had one job to do."
There was a comedian back in the early '90s, and I forget the guy's name. Not very known. Just happened to see him one night on like this comedy thing that would come on after Saturday Night Live. Comedy.tv. That's what it was. So it's back in the 90s, maybe late 90s. And I think it was called something else, not Comedy.tv at the time. But anyway, it's still the same company. And they would showcase comics from like around the United States or whatever. And he was talking about going on vacation with his wife, and he was asking people to like take their picture in front of something, right? And he's had a regular camera. And he says, everybody got the camera. They flipped it around 4 times. He goes, now, how's this work? And he goes into this rant, and he goes, how the hell do you think it works? It works like every other damn camera it's ever been made, ever. Look through the hole and push the damn button. It was so funny. Anyway, when you said that, it just reminded me of him and that.
I knew how to work it, but I didn't realize the adjustment factor was, so we cut the head off at the eyes.
Might be time to get a new phone.
I mean.
So you can be.
So I can learn how I can use the real technology. I know. It's okay. Apple is taking care of this for me because funny how my battery dies awfully fast now, even if I'm not really doing a lot. Funny how my charger plugins and even newer charger plugins don't seem to just do the job like they used to. Apple, I'm on to you. I'm just wanting to say this.
Just to throw this out there, I mean, I think Apple. It would not surprise me if that's something that Apple does. But I mean,
I think they're about ready to come confiscate it because they're like, you realize how old that is, son.
Apple's just going to show up with a new phone and say, here, just take it. Like, represent.
I mean,
man.
I'm kind of holding out for that because wouldn't that be pretty sweet?
It would be cool.
You know.
I mean, I know times.
It's an 8S.
I know times are tough, Doctor. I'm just saying.
Between the lines, Dave. Between the lines. Between the lines.
My friend Anna does the exact same thing.
It's kind of bad.
She was rocking a Windows phone when I first met her.
Yes.
And I said, I don't even understand what's going on. And she finally gets an iPhone, and she tells me about it, and I had to put her screen protector on, and she's asking me questions about it, and I'm excited that she got an iPhone, and this was like in 2019.
Yes.
She finally got an iPhone. Maybe it's before that, but I don't think so. But anyway,
it's still pretty fresh.
It was an iPhone 7, and I said, "Why did you get? Why would you do that?" And she's like,
"It's cheaper."
She was like, "Because it was like $1." And I'm like, but why would you do that? And I swear, I think she only did it just because she knew the rant that I would go into. So anyway,
so what you're really telling me is I need to take you to the iPhone store.
Yes,
and we need to just hammer this out with these people.
It's not a problem. I will happily go. I love the Apple Store
and get it done. Okay,
I'll show you my new MacBook Pro.
Yes,
that I just bought.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. So
it's an 8S. It's not an 8S.
It's no. It's an M1 Pro, MacBook Pro. Good.
My phone's not an 8S.
No, it's not an 8. There was no 8S.
Shows you what I know. I'm pretty sure it's an 8 though, right? I mean, I'm right on that. I don't even know what it is. I really don't.
I have a spare.
Do you know
phone
why I got
over
a
here.
new one? Do you know why I got a new one? Because my other one, I was in the ocean, and I know I forgot. Right?
It committed suicide.
It just combusted in my pocket and burned my leg, really bad. Looks like I have a tattoo of an apple on my, lateral thigh. Anyway, it got hit by a wave in Navarre. I might still have I think I had a 5 or a 4.
Yeah,
I'd probably still have that.
That would not surprise me either. I have a whole series of them over here. So this one, I've got this one.
Ooh,
yeah. And I think this is a 7. I think this is a 7.
Yes. That looks like something Laura had at some point.
And so I use that. So if we have interviews, and I actually have a Google Voice number, so I can use that for that. So that's just the only reason that's there. So that's just a spare that I have.
Just in case.
And I do have a 4 and a 4S and a 5 and a 5S and a 6 and a 6S.
I mean, but you're also more savvy than me. I mean, I way underutilize this phone.
I mean, I probably do too.
I have Apple Pay on it.
Look at you.
With my thumbprint.
Look at you.
I mean, right?
You could do Face ID if you had a newer phone. Just you don't even have to touch it. It just does it. But baby steps. Speaking of baby steps.
And everything's good. So we're all good.
So the baby's good.
Baby's good. Baby's good.
I can't wait to meet the little guy.
Oh, yes.
I can't wait to meet. We'll do hibachi night.
Yes.
And
we won't feed him hibachi.
No.
But I'll eat his portion.
His pure. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Here's what drives me nuts. I have to watch every calorie I intake because I will just swell up and look fatter than shit. And people like you, I watch eat, and you're like my brother Jerry. My brother Jerry could eat 6,000 calories a day. And he's looked the same for 40 damn years.
Hey, now I exercise, bro.
You do, but I'm just saying, I bet you wouldn't even have to. You're that kind of person. I can just tell it.
I got up now with the second pregnancy. I won't this. You're just. I don't even know why I'm going to tell you this because you're gonna.
I'm excited.
You're gonna smack me in the face. I mean, I got up to around about 210, 212, and I had never been that heavy in my whole life.
How tall are you again?
6'1".
Okay.
So I mean, but it was a little soft. It was a little soft.
Right.
I mean, I've weighed...
You had some mush.
I mean, I've weighed 200 before, but there wasn't any mush.
Right.
I mean, 200 with no mush looks different, but that was a long time ago. I can't ingest enough calories now because there's too much... Life's too stressful, and there's just too much going on.
Right.
But I feel better. I weigh around 190, 195 now. So I lost that back down, and I do feel...
Well, when you first met me, I was over 200.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was round.
Oh, yeah.
I was super round.
The round mound.
I'm still a little round.
Of rebound.
I'm not as round as I was.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot better. No, and I get it. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, because as you may, and for you folks at home, because I'm sitting down, you might not know this, and Doc, you may not have noticed, I am what we like to call short.
Vertically challenged.
It depends on who you ask and what shoes I'm wearing, but I'm about 5'5" or 5'6". So I'm not very tall. So if I'm up over 160, I look like somebody that's 300 pounds.
Yeah, right.
Because I carry it differently.
For the height. That's the other thing.
And the girdles chafe me. They just chafe. I don't own a girdle. Shit, I might wear one, but I don't own one. I'm not saying I wouldn't wear it. I'm just saying I don't own it.
We are not above the belly binder, okay?
No,
we are not above it. We're not above it.
I did see an infomercial one night, one of these nights that I just couldn't sleep because the same reason you were sleeping on the couch, I also could not sleep.
Oh, swollen turbinate.
Yes.
Oh.
For the exact same reason.
Hey.
So to the point that even downstairs, I knew she was getting a good night's sleep.
Oh.
That's at the decibel level that we were at.
I wonder if she has sleep apnea.
I think she does.
Oh, time for a sleep study.
I think so. She's about, I mean, just from an old audio guy here, for all you old radio folks out there, on the VU meter, that thing was pushing about +6. Okay. That's in the red. That was no 1K on the EQ, 1K all the way down because it was all thumping bass.
Because I'm all about that bass. Got that bass. No treble. I'm all about that.
Oh, it was bad. But anyway,
we probably need to talk. Yeah, we had to talk about that.
I was watching an infomercial.
Got to keep her alive.
And they were talking, absolutely.
Because Nugget really likes her too.
Nugget likes her, and I mean, these
he can
kids,
smell it too. He smells it. He knows.
Nugget, yeah. We have to make sure she stays around. But they had a girdle, basically, is what it was, and it was like a slim down thing. It's like, for men, do you not look your best? I'm like, I don't. It's like, is it hard to get to the gym? I'm like, it is. It's like, have you put on some unnecessary pounds over the years? I have. They're talking about me. Is your name Dave? I'm like, oh my God.
How did you know? How do they know? Where's the QR code? Scan the QR code. What's going on?
Oh, get your phone out now. And if it's better than an iPhone 7, then you can pay for this right on the TV.
I have Apple Pay.
I'm so excited you have Apple Pay. I got to introduce somebody to Apple Pay about a year and a half ago. She didn't have it, and I was talking to her about it, and she got it, and I text her money.
Now, using it properly,
like, because I can like text you money.
I don't know if I know how to use it properly.
Oh, it's super simple.
I mean, I can tap. I can do the thumbprint.
Now, do you have the Apple Card, or do you just use your bank card?
No, I use
or credit card.
The credit card.
Yeah. So we actually have the Apple Card.
Oh, look at you.
Because you get your cash back like immediately.
Oh.
And it's like a little running total, and then your Apple Cash is like in with it as well. Now, if you qualify for an Apple Card, now
I may not make it.
You may not make it.
I don't know. A lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, man.
It's a lot of pressure. It's backed by Goldman Sachs too. That's the bank that. Yeah, it's right. When you got $3 trillion like Apple, right, you call up Goldman Sachs, and old man Goldman says, "Okay, yep, we got it, got it. We'll do it." But so we use the Apple Card for everything.
Sweet,
everything, and so then we just pay it as soon as
then you get your
you get your cash, and then
Apple money.
So what Lindsay does is she actually takes the cash and just deposits in our bank account, right?
Yeah,
like for extra money and whatever. What I do is take the Apple Cash and buy cool stuff that I want to buy. So, but
I mean
it turns out that it's like free stuff. I mean, it's free because like I would have paid that money anyway. Like,
right.
So I mean,
it works out.
I even tried to buy. This is terrible. I was at our friends at Ray Varner Ford.
At Ray Varner Ford.
We were there one night, and we were looking for a car for Steven originally. So we bought not the Explorer we have now, but the one previous.
I guess, yeah.
The same color, just a different model. And they had one, and we thought, okay, that'd be a good car for Steven, right? Like, it wasn't overly expensive or whatever. And I tried to buy it with my Apple Card. And, like, because I wanted the cash. Because I had the cash to buy it, right? But, like, I just wanted the Apple Cash. I wanted by 2%. And so the guy, the poor little guy comes back. He talked to the finance guy, and he's like, because it was they said, "Hey, are you looking to finance this or just buy it?" I'm just looking to buy it. And I said, I'd prefer to use. He said, well, "How would you like to pay?" I was like, "I'd prefer to use a credit card." Now I know when he went back to the finance guy, because I'm laughing, the finance guy's going to say, "Hell no, you're not using a credit card. We got to pay 2 or 3%." No, I mean I know that's what happened. And he came back and goes, "Well, I mean, do you have any other way to pay? We'd rather." I'm like, "It's fine, buddy. I'll write you a check. It's not a problem." Like,
they don't like messing with that.
I'm like, I just want the Apple Cash.
They don't like messing with that.
Yeah, you should get the Apple Card though.
There you go. Good things to know.
Good things to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
And I'll consider a new phone.
Do you want me to go with you to the Apple Store?
Oh man, we could have big time. Oh no,
I love the Apple Store.
Oh, we could just do that for the heck of it then.
I mean, Lindsay.
What else are we doing? I mean,
right?
Kids. No,
I got nothing going on.
That's it. Nothing else.
Football practice. Right. Nothing. Which is going on right now, by the way. We are practicing football. I'm wearing my Hall shirt.
It's getting close.
Getting close. Yeah. We got
everybody's excited.
33 kids on our team this year.
That's awesome.
It is. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
And a lot of kids that have never played football before. So it's good that they want to experience football, but they're kind of coming into a team that we're one of those old fashioned football teams. We like to hit
a little slobber knocker.
Yeah. Like our favorite games are the ones where we just line up and we get 2.5 yards of carry and we just pile it down the field. That's what we do. So some of these kids are, they're getting used to that because it's
not pro style format.
We've had
it's more like we're running the veer.
We've had like 3 straight practices where we don't run an offensive play. We're just hitting. We're just hitting. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Our goal is always no team is ever going to out hit us. That's just not going to happen. You might beat us by 50 points, which doesn't ever happen. But we were in the championship game last year.
How about that?
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Little slobber knocker.
Snot
bubbler. Conrad Nobler used to call it the snot bubbler. That was back when you could do all the leg whips and all that other crazy.
Oh, yeah. Get away with it.
I always liked to hit him. He was a Cardinals lineman with Dan Deerdorf, and he said, get that little bubble of snot. There was a NFL Films Tough Guys thing, and Conrad Nobler was one of the tough guys.
What was that movie, The Program, where he said nothing but snot bubbles?
That's it. Yep. That's
Alvin Mack.
Yes, Alvin Mack. What's your job? What's your job? Kill everybody.
He goes, kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out. I'm like, that's the guy you want at middle linebacker right there.
That's it. Yes.
And speaking of football, and I know you want to talk about this.
Man, my Vols, man. Now,
the ghost of Jeremy Pruitt.
I mean, what I love about this, so yeah, 18. So we got hit with 18. Which seems like a lot, and I'm not. Level 1, 18 level 1 violations.
That I don't know what the level like.
That is the most severe.
That's the most severe.
Yes, and we got 18 of them.
Okay,
I mean, that sounds really, really bad. I'm like, so it's the most severe thing you can have, and we got hit with 18. That seems like a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, it's on ESPN's headline,
of course.
Okay,
ESPN.
What I love about that is, number one, he denied it and then he initially talked about how he might seek legal whatever, and then of course that died on the floor because it was like, well, actually, buddy, we had it in your contract. If you had a level 2 violation, we could dismiss you. And everybody's doing level 2. So number 1 made me want to do level number 2. Anyway, so yeah, 18. Now, and it's all impermissible benefits, money. Here's my rant. Okay. Do you know the number, the financial number, the actual number that they put out here for this?
Yeah.
Do you know it?
I don't know it.
$60,000. Now, Boogie, here's what I really want to talk about. Okay, boys and girls at home, do not cheat. It really does not pay off. Okay,
it doesn't. In the end,
it does not.
That's true.
But the devil's hanging just a little bit around. So if you are going to do something, do it really, really well. If you're going to go down in flames with 18 level 1 violations, how about $60 million?
Right.
$60,000? I'm like, what the? I mean, so I guarantee you that Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin, and the crazy dude at Vanderbilt that said that, I don't even know his name, that said the Doors are going to be a top tier football program, at the SEC Media Days. They are laughing, going, those dumbasses, they can't even cheat right. $60,000.
Yeah.
If we're going down, and this is not morally, but I want to be like, okay, Niedermeyer had a suitcase full of $100 bills, unmarked, cocaine, and hookers. And I'm like, well, we're screwed, and that's legit. $60,000. Randy Boyd made that with one of his businesses, last 2 days.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett made that in like 3 hours.
Urban Meyer probably...
Bezos, went to the bathroom and made more money than that. I'm like, $60,000.
Urban Meyer probably gets fined that weekly.
I mean, right? $60,000. Right. We got hit with 18 level 1 violations. I mean, y'all can't even cheat right. It's a good thing we got rid of his idiot self. I mean, my goodness.
Again, but just to throw out there, he did all this about 1.5 to 2 years before it was completely legal.
I know, which is even...
And that's the thing, because like all these schools were doing it anyway. That's the reason they made it legal.
The guy's an idiot.
They made it legal,
dude.
Because
it's been going on forever.
What I think happened is I think there were some big name programs that were getting ready to get super sanctioned.
I mean, you could definitely make that.
That was something that I've heard, not ESPN,
and not just in football, and not just in football.
No, particularly basketball, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah,
But like the violations were piling up. They were getting ready to come down on several major programs. A program that I love very much might have been in that mix as well when a certain Jimbo was there, and a program that he may or may not be associated with now was also involved with that.
Absolutely.
Alabama was involved, and there was other schools that I heard that was like involved in this.
And basketball, you're talking about Kansas.
Yes.
Duke.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these.
And finally they got together and they said, listen, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Basically, I think it was the heads of the university said, listen, go away. We're just going to do this. And they just gave in and said, okay. Yeah. Because, I mean...
And I think that's why it did it so fast, was because they knew it was coming. And that's why it's kind of a mess now, because they didn't really think it through. But they were like, we don't really have the time.
I think that's what it was.
To spend 5 or 6 more years trying to do this, because something bad's going to happen.
And who's the governing body of the NCAA anyway?
Who's over the NCAA?
I mean,
they have a board of directors.
But the board of directors are deans, right?
I believe so. They're typically deans of different conferences. But that's the only oversight I think that they have. I mean, and I don't think the government would get involved in something like that, but I guess the federal government is over everything, because there's state schools, privates. Well, I guess that's the only other check that would be something governmental.
I guess. Yeah.
Kind of like Washington football team and all that crazy mess. I mean, the federal government's checking them because there's really not anybody else to try to check them.
Right.
So I would assume so. But yeah, board of directors.
Which the NFL, that's interesting, because that is, I understand that there's a labor union there, but that is a private entertainment organization.
That is correct.
There is a lot to that, to where that is a little bit ridiculous, because it is an entertainment organization. They, by right, would have the rights, in my mind, to fix games if they wanted to and predict the outcome. It's no different than the WWE.
That's what I was going to say. It's no different.
It's no different. Yeah. It's an entertainment venue.
Yeah.
Now, we all hope that that's not going on, and we hope that's not happening, because if it is happening, my 49ers need to come off with some flipping money.
Right. It's like $60,000. How about $60 million?
Right?
Suitcase full of money, cocaine, and hookers. Right. I mean, $60,000.
18 violations.
$60,000. Now, surely something else is going to come out. And here's what Pruitt said. Well, I ain't really heard about none of that now. Shut up. Really? Momo. I mean, come on, man. And of course, so we imposed, I think it was 12 scholarship reduction. So, I mean, we did some things. They should have sat out the bowl game last year.
They should have.
They should have as entertaining. That was one of the most entertaining bowl games for the whole season. Unfortunately, we lose to Purdue, 51-48, I think, or whatever it was. Anyway, but I mean, very entertaining Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
But we should have just sat out, because I mean, I do have some hope with Heupel. That and now that NIL is here, we're not having to worry about some of this other stuff that just happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They should have taken that first year and just been like, yeah, we'll just sit out. So now I'm afraid now they're going to get a bowl ban for like a year or two.
Yeah.
As consequence of all the stuff that he did.
Throwing this out there.
Plus, we'll be forfeiting the Tax Slayer bowl game that we won, because all those players were ineligible and all that stuff, and so they'll I'm assuming the winnings from that will have to be returned or whatever.
As a UT fan, not me. I don't hate.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, what's funny is people just assume that I hate UT. No, I really
there's
don't.
No malice. No, there's no malice. It's just you root for other teams.
I root for another team.
I understand. I get it.
Go Noles.
I get it. I get it.
So, and I could ask the same question of myself and my team this year, and I already have in my mind. What happens this year if UT has a subpar year this year? And the reason I ask that is because you got rid of a legend, Philip Fulmer. Now, was his heart and soul completely into college football at that point in time? That's been pointed out that it wasn't. So, okay, I get it. The guy was a master recruiter. Here's the reason I'm saying that. Florida State kept Bobby Bowden years past when he was actually coaching that football team.
Yes,
okay.
Truth.
Jimbo Fisher was coaching that football team for years.
Well, understand. Right, understand.
And they were one of the better teams in football. Now they did slide off for a while, and then they've slid off way more now.
But that was kind of Jimbo,
and that was
triggering
the aftermath of Jimbo and all that stuff that happened. And so Fulmer's gone. You get Kiffin in there, and I actually think Kiffin might have worked out had he stayed. I think that might have been successful. But jackass, he leaves in the middle of the night.
And we would have gotten in trouble with him.
You definitely would. That comes along with it.
Ed Orgeron was there too as tight ends coach. Mm-hmm. They were really pushing the limit. We would have no doubt gotten in trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, and the other thing too is I think he had to learn how to get smacked down. I mean, for heaven's sakes, like he arrived. What was it after? Did they take him right home at USC and Pat Hayden fired him like on the tarmac of the plane, or did they leave him somewhere and he had to get? I can't remember how that went, but I mean,
he was at the airport and
basically they dropped it. They were like you're fired, and he had to get his own way home.
Yeah,
like that was.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him get on the plane.
It was like we're done.
Yeah, they were that upset.
I think he had to get smacked down a little bit with some of that, and then the best thing that ever happened to him, he went and worked for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
As much as he likes to talk trash, if he didn't have Nick Saban, he wouldn't be where he's at right now.
No.
Now he's he's very successful at Ole Miss. They're getting there. They're going to get. I'll be interested to see how that turns out this year. But he is an offensive guru.
He is. He's definitely an offensive.
So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah,
but she went from
right, and
then from there to Dooley.
Dooley's where, in my opinion, where it really went wrong. He was completely overwhelmed.
Yeah,
I mean, like, didn't have the charisma of Kiffin and didn't have the coaching savvy, and didn't have the. I mean, even Lane brought his dad Monty to be the defensive coordinator, which
who's a genius.
Right? Who's a genius. You didn't have that. I mean, Ed Orgeron is a very good coach and an excellent recruiter. Now he obviously did some stuff, or not him specifically, but some things happened there at LSU while he was there that was not good.
Right.
But again, you brought good people. Dooley didn't really do that.
Right.
He wore orange pants and that was kind of fun and whatever, but I mean, he couldn't coach his way out of a bag.
Right.
And so that
good
I think
coordinator, good position coach.
That's actually where I feel like it went wrong.
Yeah.
And then you made it worse. You got Butch Jones, who was very charismatic, kind of the antithesis of what you ended up with Pruitt, who was just going, But Butch couldn't. He's a great positional coach and a lower level head coach. But looking back, he was on the coattails of Brian Kelly at all those programs, Central Michigan, Cincinnati, where he had the success. And it was like you probably actually enjoyed more of that as a spillover from Kelly building the foundation of the program.
Right.
And so that was bad. And then you get Pruitt, which, he's a little more just kind of on the sour nature. So you kind of liked it because it was a little bit different than brick by brick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but
what do you do? So what are the fans going to do now? I mean, because it's
the same thing I think that UT fans always do. They're going to be all aggravated and bitter and whatever.
Yeah.
Because, that's the other thing. It makes it very unattractive to come here because the fan base is just rabid. Now, for me, I'll take another 6-6 or whatever. I don't think that's actually losing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
6-6. Let's try to weather this storm, not get in trouble.
I'd take 6-6.
And let's get a bowl game.
Yeah.
I'm good with that in year 2. And let's win the bowl game. Because you know what the difference is? We won the bowl game. The year before, we lost the bowl game.
Yeah.
As long as it shows steady improvement, shut up.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I will take 8-4 with a bowl win every year forever.
Yeah.
I will. Because we have sucked for we've had I'll say we've had a roller coaster for the last 14 years.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. And so I will take consistent winning record year after year and win bowl games.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get back to the national title? I would love that. I would love Josh Heupel to be the guy. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Let's just be honest. And I'm okay with that because, again, you can still have a very successful. I mean, how about let's get a BCS game? Maybe we could get that. Maybe not a national title, but maybe we could be an
one of the New Year's Six.
Yeah, I mean, or not BCS. BCS doesn't exist anymore. Sorry, I misspoke. But
last team to win the BCS championship was the Florida State.
Florida State? Right. So, sorry, I misspoke. Sorry, but get in like a New Year's Six. Get in something like a bigger bowl game.
Right.
I mean, how awesome would that be?
Oh, I know.
I mean, come in at like a 9-3, a 10-2, whatever that is, and get a big game.
Yeah, it'd be great.
We've not seen that forever.
Nope.
So I would be super happy. But I guarantee you, if we don't have a winning record this year, and we don't go to a bowl, and assume we don't get banned, which I could see as a possibility, which sets us back.
Could happen, yeah.
Which sets over $60,000.
Right.
Then it's still a win.
Yeah.
Regression is where it goes wrong. Like Butch Jones,
Right.
I mean, even Pruitt, we were regressing a little bit.
A little.
And it's like, that's not good. But you still have to, I mean, you gotta be on the 5-year plan.
Right.
Sometimes it's longer than a 5-year, and maybe we're just going to be in a longer than a 5-year plan because we've been down for so long.
Well, I mean, the school certainly has enough money, I can tell you that. I'm contributing to one of those schools now. Gosh.
So we paid the segueing. We paid the tuition for Stephen. Huh?
Yeah, Tennessee Tech, and we got
him set up.
He's got his roommates all set up. We're ready to go. He's going to be moving in just a few weeks, as a matter of fact.
Getting close, huh?
Yeah, it's getting close. He's at a little beach trip this week.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I went down with some buddies. I text him at night and say, is anybody dead or in jail? And he says no. And I'm like, okay. It's the only text you get from Dad. I just want to make sure that everything's good and I don't have to drive to Destin, Florida.
Oh, Destin.
And, of course, if I went to Destin or Panama City, I'd probably take a left to Tallahassee and go, I'll be there in about another day. But just
to hang out for a minute.
Paid and I mean he got scholarships and not major
but got some money.
But did get some money.
Any money is great.
And
it does still,
I mean, it took care of like 35 to maybe 40% of the tuition for the first semester.
It ain't cheap going to school. Ain't cheap.
No. Yikes. So, oh well. So if anybody's got any part-time work,
little side action. I need a little side action.
Yeah, so when you people are watching this on YouTube,
that's
flip
right.
and subscribe.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't.
We did get the rant, and the best place to see us, folks. It is definitely the website.
It is, yeah.
And that's Dave, A-N-D, Doc.com.
One of the funnier things that people say that they like about the show is when one of us gets on a rant. You just had one, and I've had several,
and mine wasn't terrible. But
no.
but like I said, it's just so stupid. But as we had briefly talked, which it's always so fun before we actually do the show, I'm pretty sure we're not even segueing. We're just jumping into this. So you got something that's on your chest, maybe even sitting up a little bit in your throat.
Oh, look at you!
Maybe sitting up a little bit in your throat.
Look at you!
Just not little dyspepsia. Just little dysphagia. It's just tight.
Yeah,
it's tight. Feels tight.
Yeah,
feels tight. So I want you to be able to release that.
Yes.
So that you will feel much better. So without further ado, my friend, tell me tell me how your healthcare needs outside of the best office in the world.
Oh, of course,
with us,
where I don't have any of these issues. By the way,
right. So tell us what's going on, brother.
So,
and I knew none of this before you told me.
I know you didn't.
This is what makes it even better.
I was actually going to call you or text you this week, and I'm like, nah, I'll see him on Saturday.
You had to save it, right?
I did. I had to save it.
It's much better kind of, yes. Because some of the stuff we hadn't even talked about yet. But okay, so all right. So I'm ready.
So just as everyone knows, I love to talk about my own health issues because I don't care.
You're an open book.
I really am. Anybody that knows me knows. Yeah, that's Dave. If Dave, had a case of the craps, he would just tell you he had a case of the craps. Because we're all kind of the same. George Carlin used to talk about little things.
You do take care of the bunghole agitator.
That's right. That's right. George Carlin used to talk about lip crud. He goes, everybody gets lip crud. He's like, and he said it's low tech shit. Just thumbnail, pop that thing out. He said, George Carlin always talked about the little things that like connect us as people, right? And we all have some of the same issues and some of the same problems. Others have more severe, major medical issues like me. No, it's not really, I guess. So my family, the men in my family all have terrible acid reflux.
Yes.
I don't know that that's ever been proven to be a genetic thing, but I can just tell you that all the men in my family have.
I will say, I think I don't know that they've linked it to like a specific gene per se, but I will definitely say, it's like a lot of things. If your family has the problem, you're going to end up, because if your dad produced too much acid in his stomach or whatever, you probably doing the same thing,
right?
Because we did come from them,
right? That's exactly right.
So who made who? Who made you? Right? Sorry.
Maximum Overdrive soundtrack, AC/DC.
Is it right?
Yep.
Very good. Very good.
So I produce a lot of acid, and I also eat really spicy food. And
yes, now,
and so I realize I don't help this at all. And years ago, I knew that I had acid reflux, and I'm talking like over 20 years ago. And I just said, I'm not taking the medicine. I just don't want to do that. And so I just didn't take it, right? And so I'd knock out a Rolaids or a Tums or something every once in a while, and I'm like, that'll fix it. Well, it got to a point where no, that is no longer fixing it. Like it is to the point where even when I breathe, it's raspy, so something's even getting into the lungs or something's going on. And so that's probably about the time that I started to come.
It was burning your vocal cords, actually.
It
was coming all the way up and actually burning your vocal cords.
Yeah,
which is bad, just so you know.
Yes, it's very painful too. Middle of the night, you wake up and like you get like this it's acid
terrible.
In your throat, and like it just won't go away.
And it's chronically burning your esophagus. And what happens is the squamous cells of your esophagus, they actually change into columnar epithelium, and that puts you at risk. You get what's called Barrett's esophagus. That actually puts you at risk for esophageal cancer. That's why we don't want it to go, because it's just that chronic irritation that causes the cell replication to change. So anyway, keep going.
So I get on the meds, and I do have Barrett's esophagus. So one of the the worst part is the cancer that is potential there, which I do not have, by the way, folks. I'm not announcing I have cancer. But so with Barrett's esophagus, though, what does happen is the scar tissue builds up, and over time, the bottom of the esophagus that dumps out into the stomach gets really tight. So what happens to old Dave is Dave takes a bite of a nice cheeseburger, and if I don't chew it thoroughly, and sometimes even if I do, once it gets to the bottom, that's as far as it's going to go for a little while, because it takes time to actually dump out into my stomach. And I usually don't realize it until I take a drink of something. Then, holy shit, I'm I'm just going to be super honest with you folks. It comes right back up if I'm lucky. Or if I'm not lucky, it just hurts. And the pain is unbelievable.
Yes, it is very intense. Lots of nerve receptors and
it feels like your throat's going to explode.
Yes, it's stretching. I mean, it's truly stretching, because your natural swallow reflex and the muscles for peristalsis, I mean, they're like, get that into your stomach, because that's where it's supposed to go.
Right.
Travel through there into the small intestine, into the colon, and either we absorbed it or it comes out of you. You know?
Right.
And it's just hanging there, and your body's going, that's not supposed to be how this goes.
Yeah, so super painful, and oftentimes people have to go to the ER to get scoped and stuff.
That's happened.
I have came really close to that one time. I actually went to the ER, probably the same ER that you might have just been at recently. And while I was sitting there, it actually dropped.
It released.
And so like I went and they're like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. You know, it's perfectly fine." So
don't charge me.
Please don't charge me.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Well, I hadn't even been through triage at that point.
Well,
so
you were good.
Anyway, so because of this, once every 3 to 5 years, I'm supposed to have a procedure done.
That's correct.
Upper endoscopy.
Yes, endoscopy or EGD.
EGD.
Yes.
Oh, EGD.
Yes.
Rated EGD.
Esophagogastroduodenoscopy.
Yeah, and essentially what that is they take a flipping tube and stick it down my throat
With a camera
and a balloon, and they use the balloon.
The bougie.
It's a nice balloon. It's got a clown picture on it, and they blow the balloon up, and that stretches that part out.
Yes, a dilation.
And so what happens with that is after that, and I mean immediately after that, like I can go to Chick-fil-A and get a spicy chicken sandwich without a pickle because that's flipping disgusting. And I can eat it like normal people do, and everybody should chew your food, but none of us do.
No.
We're in a hurry to eat. Half the time I'm in a hurry to eat, like I'm in between like a meeting and I got 5 minutes. I take a bite and it's like, and I'm like, oh no. And like, it's really cool for like those first couple of years, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
That's correct.
Because you get to the point where all you can eat is soup. I'm telling you, it gets to that point.
The liquid has to pass.
Yeah, so...
There actually are some conditions, though, potentially where even the liquids are a problem. Now in your case, you have the stricture that forms in there, so that is usually just the solid stuff.
So there's a bit of the background, and so to do this, Doc over here, as you see, is indicated on the YouTube video by the emoji that says Doc. He is my doctor, but he does not perform this.
Right, I was not trained.
You were not trained in that. Although I've asked him today to get a balloon and a straw, and let's see what we can do. He has.
You heard it. You heard it on the podcast.
He has refused.
He has, yes, and I declined. He declined.
So. I'll be trying to do it later. No, so
in the shed.
So in the shed, yes. I'll just talk about the shed
with the water hose.
So I had to go to a specialist, a GI.
Yes, that's correct.
GI specialist, and the last time I had it done, I made some observations while I was there, which I'll talk about. But so I get a call from your nurse.
Yes.
Hi, April.
She's the best.
How you doing? She is the best. She and I had a good laugh because it's time for me to schedule this, and it has been time for me for about 8 months.
Yes.
I know this, maybe even a year. I know this.
And we have talked about this, and I have tried not to give you a hard time because, you know, we've been doing pretty well, and I know that life is busy and there's craziness and COVID and everything else. So
right.
And I also know that, I mean, you do what you tell me you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So right. I don't get too twisted. Now, obviously, if you were choking, I'd say, Dave, would you please take your butt to the dadgum doctor, or I'm going to call him myself, and then I'm going to drive you over there,
right? Know? Because I mean, because it still happens. It does happen, but it's usually because I did not chew the food up properly.
Again, you're very well aware of what is going on.
I know what's going on,
and you're right.
So we've had a couple of appointments that we've had to cancel because of different reasons. One was COVID, and then one was, just a scheduling conflict of some sort.
You had to work.
Yeah.
That job. To make money. To pay college tuition.
So essentially what was told to me was...
And you like how I guess they sent this to us. They didn't send this to you, correct? They sent it to us.
Yeah, I don't have that letter.
Okay.
They did send me a letter.
Okay.
And I know what it says, so I don't need it in front of me.
Okay.
But I know what it says. Believe me, I've memorized it.
Okay, I bet.
So April says, "Hey, it's time." You know, and I said, "Yeah, I know." And she said, and she said, "Hey, would you like for me to schedule that for you?" She said, "I'll get off the phone and I'll do it right now." I'm like, "Hey, it's not a big deal, April. It's not a problem. I can call and schedule."
And she literally gets off the phone and does it right.
I know. I knew she would.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I knew that would be done. And I said, "No." I said, "Let me look at my schedule." I said, "We got Steven going to college. We got to take him and move him one weekend. We got stuff going on."
Yes.
I just can't.
Right.
You know,
it's a scheduling
because it's a whole day thing. It's a whole day thing.
That's correct.
You get there at like 6 a.m. and I'll get to the procedure in a minute because I know it very well. They give
you that, they get you prepped, they get you the juice, they do the procedure, then you have to wake up, then you still have to wake up more,
right?
And
you basically come home and go to bed,
and you basically you're like, yep, I'm ready to go to sleep. Then you wake up and you're hungry and you're ready to eat. Theoretically, assuming everything goes well,
yeah,
and then you're back on track. But yeah, it's all day.
It's a whole day thing.
It's all day.
So she said, hey, she said, well, we need to make a schedule for this because we made a referral. And I'm like, I know how that works. And she said, and she said, and they said that you've had several cancellations and several no-shows.
Oh,
that's what triggered me.
The no-shows.
No-shows.
Because we haven't had no-shows.
We have not had no-shows.
We've had some cancellations.
And she said, so they're willing.
Oh, dear.
She said, Dr. X.
Yes.
That's what I'll call him.
Yes. I like it.
Dr. X.
You could have called him Dr. Strange. That would have been cool, too.
It would be. That's a discredit to. It's a discredit to Dr. Strange. Oh. I like Benedict Cumberbatch.
You see where this is going, folks. I'm just giving you the.
So Dr. X.
Okay.
Who did not say this? I guarantee it.
Strange Love. You could have called him Strange Love.
I could.
Like Questlove.
Questlove. Roots. So I guarantee the doctor did not say this. This is some stupid policy that
agreed
that some moron is trying to follow to the letter to prove that they're a great employee rather than to use their brain for 3 seconds.
It's a practice initiative or practice guideline, whatever. Right. Yes.
So essentially, she says Dr. X.
But it's got his name attached to it. Yes.
So Dr. X has stated.
Yes.
He is exalted. The King, Dr. X, has said, should I not schedule it, then my account, my patientship, which I like to say, will be up for dismissal. Will be in review for dismissal.
Oh.
Now, this is not the first time that I've heard of this. The pediatrician we use years ago, I mean, like when we first moved to Knoxville, like 2010, we had made an appointment and then a follow-up appointment, and then turns out the kid was fine, right? So we didn't need to make the follow-up appointment. We forgot about the follow-up appointment and forgot to call until like the day had already started. Like not the day before, but it was before our appointment. And someone told us, they said, oh, well, they probably won't let you come back because that's their rule. And I said, let me tell you where they can go. I will drive down there and tell them where they can go. I am not beholden to them. I'm not beholden to any medical practice. I'm not beholden to any of that mess. It's like, shove it right up the rectum because I don't care.
No pun intended with it.
No pun intended.
With the GI practice.
Yeah, I hope they don't use the same tube.
They do.
At the same time. And if they do, actually, I don't know which way I'd rather them go because it's got to come back up through the throat. Yeah, I don't like any of that.
You can't really navigate it that way. So it just tastes a little different if they do the rectum first.
That's a little spicy.
Yeah. It's a little gritty, too.
Yeah, is
that oatmeal?
Is that a nut? So is it
an Almond Joy or is it a Mounds? Sorry. So anyway, right. So okay.
So this was the pediatrician, and again, I'm like, so help me God, if they tell us we can't come back, I'm telling you, I will lose my flipping mind because let me tell you something. Neither of these organizations that I'm talking about, and I'm going to quit talking about the pediatrician because I'm just whatever. They're jackasses. There's plenty of pediatricians. Are they good doctors? I guess. I don't know, but
Dave is wrong.
But this GI guy, this Dr. X, I don't know who the hell he thinks he is. I really don't. But apparently, he over the years and years of being in charge of a medical practice or being in a partnership,
he's in a partnership. Yeah,
he has somehow in his own mind risen above normalcy to this godlike status. And let me tell you, you're just an old boy. And if I met you out in the street, let me just tell you. So put my account up for review for dismiss it. Here's the thing. He ain't running a charity organization.
But can I interject?
Yes, please.
Did you no-show?
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
I mean, as long as I've been coming to your practice, I've canceled one time.
I agree.
One time.
Yeah.
And I canceled in plenty of time.
Right.
It was like a week ahead of time, I think.
I got you.
And I'd probably already texted you at that point and told you too. So it wasn't even a problem.
Right.
Although your office did call me and tell me that you didn't show up for your appointment because I told you about that.
I know.
And it was just, I mean, it was not a big deal. And like, it was,
Which what we typically do if it's 3 no-shows, we monitor it and then you get charged a fee.
Yeah.
Some places, if you miss once, it's a fee straight out the gate. But we will actually warn you, and it says, "Hey, if you do it again, you're going to get charged like $40."
And let me say this.
And now, sometimes if people cancel, no show. I mean, I have had to let people go because basically they're not seeing me anymore.
Right.
This is not the case here. This is
right.
not what's going on here. There has been contact, and it is, hey, we're trying to do this.
That's right.
So yeah, that's
so
yeah. So this is sticky. Like I said, particularly with there not being any no shows. Cancellations are different. Like, because I understand life happens. So
right.
that's the key. So okay.
But once I had COVID, so
right they did.
Right? So
yeah, and I mean with COVID, it's really changed it because it's like, well, you never know when somebody's sick, so
right.
you kind of have to just get over some of this stuff. Okay.
So here's this guy telling me that well, I'm not going to allow you to come to my practice anymore. Well, suck it, buddy. Then okay, I just won't. Here's the thing. He's not running some charity, right? When I come in, they don't say, hi, Dave. We're going to do this for free today. You know what they tell me every time I go? Every damn time I go, hey, we looked up your insurance. And I'm like, I know what's coming. And we need $1,000 before we do it. It's like, and now it's to the point they call you 2 weeks ahead of time, 3 times a day to tell you that you got to bring your $1,000.
To make sure, yeah.
So old boy ain't running no charity service. And let me tell you something else. Are they good at what they do? That's debatable in my mind because let me tell you, the last time he did this to me, I went there for him to.
I understand, right?
You know what I mean? I mean, like,
right.
He didn't like anesthetize me on the street or whatever.
He didn't roofie.
Yeah, I didn't get roofied.
Smells funny in here. What's going on?
But he even told me, he's like, yeah, I could have stretched it a little further, but I didn't. And then tells me if it's not stretched far enough, let me know, and you can come back in a couple weeks. Like to pay you another $1,000 plus whatever my insurance pays, which is probably $5,000.
And and I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how much.
This place is a machine. Let me tell you, there's like these beds, and they wheel you in there, and they have nurses going by. They poke you, put an IV in. I pass out. And, and so you're just laying there and they're just wheeling people in and then out. The door goes in, 5 seconds later, out. You know how I know it's 5 seconds? Because I was there long enough to count.
And you were timing it.
And I was counting money.
You could have jumped through the door.
Yeah, I was counting money.
Like the laser sensor cuts off.
I'm like, this old boy just made $20,000 just before insurance.
Yeah.
Now listen, I am not one of these people that don't want people to make money. I am not one of those people.
No, I get you.
You went to school. You paid a buttload of money to go to school. We are paying you for your expertise and your knowledge. Right. Totally get it. People do the same for me. Okay,
yes.
I get it. Truth. I'm not a doctor. I'm pretty stupid. No. But people pay me for my knowledge and my understanding and my experience.
Yes.
Totally get it. When I go to a used car lot, okay, like our friends at Ray Varner, I don't really haggle that much because I actually want them to make money because if I'm going to buy more vehicles there, I want their service to be there, and I want it.
Right, it's all about I got you.
I totally understand how economy works. I totally understand, how the flow of money works. So I don't want the guy not to make money.
Sure, understand.
But when you have gotten to a point that you just call everything a no-show, and then tell me that we're just not sure you can be a patient anymore, then take one of those tubes that you use for other people and shove it up your own rectum, because I don't care. There's other GI doctors. Listen, at this point, I will drive to South Carolina. I mean, and listen, I was laughing.
And you'll find the Captain George's after the fact.
Yeah, and I'll eat and be happy. I might fall asleep at the table, but that's okay. I mean, I was laughing with your nurse on the phone because I'm like, this is the most ridiculous stuff. I'm like, they're not the only GI. She's like, I know. I'm just, like, you could tell she didn't even want to talk to me about it.
Well, but I mean, I think, and this is, we have talked about this before. I mean, she wanted to kind of warn you too, because, I mean, we don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But it's funny how our office was actually the one having like the real conversation with you.
Right.
So here's my observation. So it's one thing if there's like a big history of non-compliance, if that makes sense to you,
right?
Which you were not. I mean, you when we talk, we do the things that we say we're going to do. We show up, and so you are not a non-compliant patient.
That is right.
If they actually look at how you followed with them, other than this most recent time where it's been delayed by. I mean, it's not like we went 3 years without getting like beyond when we were supposed to show up. We're talking about less than a year,
right? And
COVID played a role in the first time we missed. The other thing is you have to think about availability,
right?
Because when that happens, they're like, oh, well, it'll be 4 or 5 more months before you can get in,
right?
So that delays it some also,
right?
So that's a part of it too, because he's busy as well, or the practice is busy. That's how they stay in business.
Yeah, he's doing well.
So that's hard. I mean, like I said, I will tell you the truth. I have dismissed people for lots of no-shows and just basically never scheduling a follow-up.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I have my scheduler, Allie. I mean, she will call them because I try my best.
Of course.
Like, I mean, we're talking, sometimes 10 to 15 phone calls with messages left. In addition to the fact they've already no-showed multiple time after time after time after time, and I'm like, yeah, we're on the hook here. I think I'm going to have to let them go.
Yeah.
But we really do put the effort. So this is one of these. It's obviously it's a practice initiative. It's a practice guideline.
Right.
Here's what I'll say. If you had the opportunity to talk with him, my thought would be is. Because in the end, we do have in most instances. Now there are some things where we don't. It's like you did that to yourself. There's nothing we can really do to override that.
Right? Cocaine
and hookers, you're probably out the door. And I can't, I'm not really going to resurrect that because that's not really good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I mean that may be where you may just when you are able to get in touch, you may just want to talk to him and say, hey, I got this letter. This is not how this is. I'm a few months late, but I had COVID. I had to cancel because I had to work. I started a new job. I couldn't be off from a new job.
Speaking of the letter,
and so yeah, so yes, so continue
the letter.
And I'm not trying to make an excuse for it.
No,
I'm just saying I see both sides of it, but I see why you feel the way you feel. That's what I'm trying to say.
The letter mentions nothing about this.
Oh.
The letter just says, hey, it's time for your...
See, yeah. I thought the letter said...
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
That's my fault. So see what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
We didn't really do that in this case, but I thought it actually was saying something about that. So there's nothing of that. They actually just sent that to my office.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It didn't send it to me.
So basically they put the onus on my office to make sure that we help keep you safe. That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. That's actually good. So, that's good information to know from a professional standpoint for sure.
Yeah, right. So
wow,
wow. And I've thought about the different ways I could handle this.
Did not even send it in that letter. Yeah. See, we warn you. We send warnings. Say, hey.
Yeah,
this is not. What are you doing? It may be difficult to continue our physician-patient relationship. And most people, if they're interested, they will call if you send somebody a letter like that.
This Dr. X is very exalted. He's too busy for this. His staff is too busy. There's too much stuff going on.
So is mine. April has. Oh, dude! If you knew how much.
I can only imagine.
Oh my God. So I worked a half day yesterday, which was not supposed to be my day, but because I took part of my day off, not even a whole day, because I thought Bennett we'd have to go in. So I opened up this part of my day yesterday. You know what time I left on my half day? 3:15.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, there's my half day.
There's your half.
And we started at 8 and I was there at 6.
Of course.
Okay. So I'm like, yeah, this is my half day. I'm just saying. So there's plenty of other work to be done. This is getting worse. So keep going.
So I thought about the ways that I could handle this. Number one, the first and foremost, I need to have the procedure done.
Right.
I know this. We all know this.
Right. Yes. And I want you to have it done.
Of course you do.
My job is to try my very best to help keep you as safe as possible.
Right.
And that's for all of our patients. I mean, that's it.
But especially me.
But right, of course.
But
of course. I mean, because if you go down, the show's done. Because everybody knows you're the brains of this operation. I'm just sitting here with spiked hair going, bad jokes. So I mean, you know what I'm saying.
It's not true.
Play some Skinnerd, man. Woo!
It's not true.
Freebird. We'd be playing a lot of Freebird if you went down. Let me just
be all right.
I mean, there's work.
Probably get more listeners.
I mean, right.
Throwing that out there.
Play a little Stairway to Heaven and some Freebird.
Green Grass and High Tides.
That's it. That's it. We would close the show out with Nitty Gritty
House's Restaurant.
Fishing in the dark. That's it.
So
anyway, sorry. I know we're ADD in it now.
Well, so I mean, I know I need to have it done.
Yes, and nobody's right, and everybody understands this, and that's why April's laughing because she's like, Dave is of sound mind.
Yes,
because she knows the patients really well. She knows you. I mean,
oh yeah,
she knows our folks, and she's like, oh Lord, listen to this, and it's like, I see why they're upset. Yeah,
and so part of me just says, okay, Dave, you're an adult. Just schedule it with them.
Most of the time.
Not most, but I am technically an adult. So part of me says, Dave, just schedule
right,
it.
Just do it.
Just schedule it.
Yes,
they do a good job.
That's
probably
that's the path of least resistance.
That's the path of least
resistance. It helps
resistance.
keep you safe. You get what you need to get done to help you feel better, keep families happy, everybody's good. There you go.
But then there's the other thing where there's times that I just want to let people know, hey, you're being an ass.
Yes. Because
they need to know.
There's still the principle of what is going on.
It's not the school, it's the principle.
And it's right. That's right. And I'm a right. I like that. and I'm a fairly big principle person. And I think that's where sometimes I feel like I get a little misunderstood just in certain situations. Because I'm like, it's not really this specific instance of what happened, but these other things have happened, and then this has happened. And the principle of the fact that you were just, it's egregious, or it just shows how much you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Right.
But people want to just focus on like that one thing. And it's like, yeah, but it's not always just that one. It's the whole big picture of, you send out this letter, this upsets you. Or they didn't even send out the letter. You hear this secondhand from the primary care's office, and it's like they're basically telling you you're a bad patient, and you're like, hold up, we've had 2 cancellations because I had to work and I had COVID.
Yep.
And you're like threatening to dust me out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a good principle. So right. So I'm with you.
So I mean, you're looking at a guy who one time got down the road, turned around and went back to a Burger King, asked to see the manager, and in a very calm way, I said, listen, I've been coming to this Burger King for a long time.
Yes.
I drive past this when I'm doing other stuff.
I tell people about this Burger King.
I said, I'm just telling you right now, the employees that you have right now, and I was like, maybe that's all you can get. This is the worst staff you've ever had. Like, they don't get anything right. And I said, I can stand here in line and hear other people complaining about it. I just want you to know. And it was just because I just felt like, you know what, maybe he just doesn't know.
And sometimes that actually is the case.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like, listen, be brutally honest, because if you don't tell me, don't just assume that I knew that happened. I'm serious,
right.
because there's so much happening.
That's what I tell my employees all the time.
Yes,
I'm like, if you see something, please tell me.
I'm like, I'd much rather be like, hey, you're an idiot. Look what happened here, than be like, and it's like, right. I never even knew that happened.
Right.
Now, if you get all fired up and, start calling me expletives and stuff like that, I'm going to say, okay. you get about 2 of those, and then we need to stop because your rationality has left you.
That's right.
Now you're just trying to be insulting and get me upset, and this is not productive. Right. So they're right.
So the part of me which is winning right now in my head actually wants to just drive down there and just say, here's the situation. Here's what happened. Show me where I did not show up. Right. Show me the no-shows. I will apologize. I'll hand you $1,000 now. And if I don't ever schedule with you again, then it's on me.
Then there you go. Right.
And they're not going to be able to do that. And then what's going to happen is they're going to say something. Here's the other thing. This dude, Dr. X, when he got into practice, when he first got into this partnership, I bet you they wasn't thinking about firing anybody. They wanted all the people they possibly wanted all the time. And like they were as good as gold to people, sure, and even people that couldn't pay the $1,000 up front or whatever. I bet they were like, well, okay.
Sure.
And then at some point, they've scaled to a point where, he's drinking, scotch at $1,000 on a boat somewhere and making decisions.
In the Caymans fishing.
In the Caymans fishing. And so he's making these decisions. Well, just fire them as a patient. That's great. But when you start losing the person that you were when you originally got into your profession, and you're starting to lose yourself. And I'm not trying to get philosophical here, but
and that goes beyond just medicine. I mean, that's not just. That's any career.
Yes,
I mean it is. So
you start losing the human side of who you are, and I mean, so the part of me and the part of me that's likely going to win in my head is the either call them, send them a letter, or drive down there and say, you know what, I don't want to be your patient because I don't want to be a part of this. Right. This is you are confusing terms that I don't like, and I mean,
and I found this out from my PCP, not a letter from you actually saying, hey, by the way, if you don't do this, you're out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad.
It's just shitty.
Yeah,
you don't treat somebody like that.
That's scary. And again, and the other thing is, like, I don't even know any of this is happening had you not really said anything, because April just takes care of it.
Sure.
And in that case, it's like, well, we know he's going to schedule, so then it's just So I don't need to know all that because we got enough information.
And not to mention the fact that I am not beholden to their. We have no. I have no prior. Like,
true.
I'm not in a union. It's not a membership.
Sure. No, I totally get that.
I mean, like if I stop paying Tenova Healthcare, then they will not let me come back into the building. But we have that arrangement, right?
Right.
The gym. That's
yes. I know what you meant. The health and fitness center.
I do not have an ongoing argument with the ER.
Oh, I mean the hospital. They will do that too. If they're for profit, they can be like, listen, your bill is $12,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of come to that. Yeah. It used to not be that way. But there are places where it's come to that.
And I understand. I understand time is money. I get it. So if you have somebody slotted for a spot,
right? But if you cancel it, that's different than just no showing it. Like no shows bother me,
of course.
Now I will say this: I'm not going to lie. We're so busy right now, and thank you, Lord. I'm very thankful to be busy.
Sometimes
I don't really get that upset if I have a no show now, because honestly. It's one of those.
You get 20 minutes of your day back.
Well, and then also, the other thing, it's really interesting how it happens. Like, and this happened a couple times this week. I had a couple no shows, and I don't get a lot of no shows. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not a bragging thing. That's just the way it is, and I'm thankful for that.
Right.
Interestingly, the people that were in the appointment before the no show, they actually needed that time for me to talk to them.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
And I'm like, man, God, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And I know we get fired up and cuss a little. I love Jesus, but cuss a little. And all. But I have had that happen multiple times here, and I'm like, you know what? That was just meant to be.
Yeah.
Because this is the other funny part. I didn't get behind because that person didn't come.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it did. I mean, I get behind anyway, but I didn't get more behind than my behind.
That's right.
Behind. So my behind is skinny now because I'm running it to death.
How far behind do you get when I'm there?
It's usually
it's got to be bad.
I mean, no. I mean, it's So if I'm 30 minutes behind when I come in to see you, I'm probably getting out, and I'm probably about 40 minutes behind because you usually have a 15 or a 30-minute visit, so we usually go about 10 over whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and that's not. I mean, that's not uncommon. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Now, it sometimes it depends too. I mean, we've had fast visits too. We're just like, yep, I gotta, you're good, I'm good.
Right.
Whatever. We talk about the plugs for the otoscope and all that.
Can you look and see if it's still oozing,
right,
Doc?
Exactly. And then we're good. But I just tell people, I'm like, listen, number one, if you need the time, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to try to give you the time. And that's why sometimes you have to wait. And we had a partner leave here recently from the practice, and it's interesting because it's like they're very amazed with how much time, like, I'll be willing to sit there and talk to them, but they don't like having to wait. But they're happier, because they're getting to be. They're like, gosh, so and so never even cared about that. And I'm like, well, that actually does matter. Or I'm sorry you didn't know that you had diabetes. So I mean, these things. There's, it's interesting. People don't want to wait, but then they want that time when it's their time.
Right.
And it's like, so if you want that, then you have to be willing to wait because you know that I'm going to give you more time than what's actually allotted. I don't go in there and set a timer.
Sure.
And when it dings, I just get, that's it. It doesn't work that way for me.
Let me tell you how Dr. X operates. Your ass gets wheeled in there, thrown in a bed. They're popping a needle in you.
I get it.
You go through double doors. They roll you in. The anesthesiologist says, "Man, you got any questions?" And he goes, "Turn over on your side. Put this in your mouth. Here's what I'm going to do. Good night. I'll see you when you wake up." It is just like that. Which isn't. And again, I've never been in the military, but I kind of feel like I'm in the military where you're in line and you just go and they give you shots in both arms. Pop. So, yeah, I feel like my relationship with this doctor is scarred to the point that I just don't want to be a part of that practice anymore.
I get that.
And it's unfortunate, but
I will say I've had patients reach out to me. If you have a good relationship with Dr. X or whatever, I have had patients reach out to me, and same thing what you're talking about, and say, "Hey, did you know about this? This is how this was presented to me."
Yeah.
And some patients are not nice.
Right.
Some doctors are not nice. I mean, I've had that happen, and it actually has led to some positive change. I'm not saying in this case that it would, but it might be. Before you do that, you might just want to reach out and just let them know what happened. Say, listen, I swear to you, there are not any no-shows here in my record. We had to cancel, and here's why.
Right.
And it's not meant to try to cause you a problem.
Maybe, yeah, I could probably just find him, talk to him in person. I could probably just visit all the yacht clubs.
Dave. That's me.
I can see where Elon Musk is.
Dave, no, let me just, okay. Now, jihad doctors do well, but they ain't making Elon Musk money. I'll say that.
Probably not.
Unless they're doing something illegal, which I don't believe.
That practice is making some bank, though. There is no...
I mean, I believe that.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I won't lie to you. I mean, I like making money
of course
just as much
you
as
do.
anybody else. But yeah, I know I get it. And the fact that it went through our office and then you got like the pleasant letter, but on the undertone is like, hey, you better let him know something, which I'm like, well, why did y'all not let him know?
Right.
You sent him just a regular letter saying, hey, it's time to schedule.
Yeah, the letter was like, hey, Dave, hope you're having a great summer.
Yeah, but the undertone is, yeah, you're about to get fired. Yeah,
we'd love to stick a tube down your throat.
That's kind of screwed up.
We kind of need $1,000. We need a new gold statue in the lobby.
Yeah, that's kind of screwed up.
It reminded me, just thinking about that practice and how much money they make, it reminded me of the Napster thing. And South Park made fun of Metallica and Lars Ulrich.
Yes.
And Lars Ulrich was standing in the front of his mansion, and he goes, he said, you see this statue of Zeus? Now I can't get the matching statue because of Napster, which I thought was funny, which just came to mind. And I'm like, And again, I want you doctors to make money. You guys spent a ton of money going through med school. You worked your butt off. And I know that.
Yeah. I mean,
and I've never been the kind of person that says, man, doctors make too much money. You will never hear me say that, or nurses. You will never, ever hear me say doctors and nurses make too much money.
No, I get you. No.
The crap they have to deal with, sometimes quite literally, is no.
No, I totally get that, and I believe you, and I think we wouldn't be able to have a good relationship if you felt differently.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think it would just affect everything that we're. But there are people that do think that they're like, well, you should just be volunteering your time. It's like, well, that's great, but it costs me $240,000 to go to school. That now. Apparently all that's going to be forgiven, but that's like a whole podcast, and we're not going there today. Anyway, but you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, well, we had to pay that off.
Right.
I have to buy food just like you do. They don't give me food for being a physician. Now, some people, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
But that's everything.
Of course.
I mean, business people, they want to make money,
right,
and they want to make as much money as they can. Why is it okay for them to do it, but I can't do it?
Right. Right.
Ethically, legally,
right?
That's what we're talking about. But yeah, there's also you've got to be careful so you don't do something that really catches a good person, a good patient that upsets them, makes them feel like they're like doing something wrong.
Yeah,
when they've not done anything wrong. I got you, brother. I'm sorry that happened. I really am.
Well,
I would honestly, if I was him, I would want to know what happened. Like, I mean, in a professional way. Like I said,
sure.
We're not calling people names, and I actually would appreciate that. Because like I said, we've had a couple things happen, and it's been very fortunate, that we were able to talk and go back and look at what happened. It's like, yep, that was a communication problem. This was, this and this. And yeah, and because sometimes I've had patients come in, they're like, are you really? I mean, am I going to get fired? I'm like, no. No, this stupid insurance thing or this, that, don't worry about that. No, but they're worried about it because they're like, I really like seeing you. And I'm like, well, I really like seeing you, So,
my feeling is with Dr. X,
he's not going to care.
He's not going to give a shit.
Well, and that is a risk that you take. I mean, it's
so. I mean, honestly,
and I don't know Dr. X. I don't. So I can't give you. Vibe. I do know some other folks in that particular practice, and they would very much want to know. Like they would want to know.
Yeah.
Just. I mean, because they're pretty dadgum caring, and they're very thorough. You know, and they would want to be like, hey, I'm sorry that happened. Keep communication open with me, because if you get some stupid letter, it's actually not. It got automatically generated because of the system, not because that's actually how I feel.
Right.
But then again, not everybody feels that way either.
That's true.
So that's what you're speaking to.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty good rant. That's and I mean, and it's very applicable to lots of things.
Yeah,
lots of things. Perception of how that went down, even if wasn't their intent. I mean, the perception, that's pretty bad. And
it is.
And that would, like, as a patient, like, I would feel very insulted, just as you do.
Yeah.
And so I feel you.
I mean, it's always one of those things, when anytime you have any kind of a conflict like this with a professional organization, for me anyway, the first thing I was like, do I owe you money? Have I missed something? If I have, I am human. I do pay. Right. I even pay extra.
Right. I mean, I know we've talked about that before. Right.
As a matter of fact, the pediatrician office once sent us a bill for like $7, and I sent them a check for like $57 and said, please credit the $50 to our account so you don't have to waste a mailer for $7. We're in this place every 6 weeks. We could have paid it in person, but no, you had to send out a mailer for $7. And I wrote a little note and stuck it in there. So,
and they will credit your account.
They did. Oh yeah. So, I mean, the next time Lindsay went, she goes, oh, I see you have a credit. And it's like, I know I do, because my husband lost his temper and said, and it wasn't a mean note though. I mean, it was really just like, hey, Just so you guys
let me save you the postage.
Don't send a bill for $7.
Because between the envelope and the postage and the manpower it took to get here, you probably spent $7.
You 100%.
You know what I'm saying? That's the funny part.
We talk about it at work all the time. We have conversations about things that cost $10, and it's like we spent 20 minutes. 9 of us that are in upper management. Let me just tell you what we did. We bought 1 million of them. Okay,
yes. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like
absolutely.
Let's not talk about this.
Right.
So
that's it.
Yeah. So. You know what would be great? What I would absolutely love, which would just make my day, is if I could get in touch with Dr. X and he'd actually come on the podcast and talk to me about it. That'd be the great list because I'll do it, but it wouldn't bother me a bit. It wouldn't. If I knew I could get in touch with him right now, I would call him because it does not bother.
Like
me.
I said, I don't know Dr. X, so yeah.
He wouldn't. He's not somebody you would associate with. I don't think so. I don't think. You don't have to answer that. I know you well enough, though. I'll answer for you.
No comment. Very good. I love you, man.
He's drinking Mai Tai.
It's going to be okay. It's
on the beach somewhere.
It's so terrible.
He probably owns an island.
I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
I'm so over this whole thing. But so I can't convince you to. I can't convince you to put a tube in my throat.
But we'll talk about other options offline. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm willing to go to another state.
That's it. We'll figure it out.
I'm pretty stubborn.
We'll figure it out. Thank you all for listening. Hey, we're back in action.
We are.
Further rants to continue.
Ranting and raving. We got 3 weeks of rants.
Until morale improves.
That's right. Oh, this was fun. Football season right around the corner.
I'm so excited. I can't stand it.
NFL Hall of Fame game coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Yes. Awesome.
The Jags and the Raiders. The game that nobody cares about, but I'll watch anyway.
Why not, right?
Right. Why not?
It's football. Trevor Lawrence
and Derek Carr. And a lot of controversy between both teams.
Right.
So,
no doubt.
Lots of fun.
No doubt.
All right, folks.
How do they listen to us, Dave?
I don't know. Yeah. So you can go to YouTube. You can listen to us there and watch us if you like to watch the podcast because that's fun. And if you do, I would love it if you would subscribe. That would just make my day. I can't pay Dr. X unless you do. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, Alexa, Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Podcast Index, and good God, anywhere that has podcasts because
we're there.
That's how that works.
We're there. Not Deezer, though.
Not Deezer. No, I've turned Deezer down.
Thank you, Germany. Thank you, Canada.
I fired Deezer as an...
Thank you. Right, Deezer's gone.
Right, Deezer's gone. No more Deezer.
Thank you all to our local folks, too, because like I said,
absolutely.
we got some shout-outs this week wanting us to get back on, so we really appreciate that.
Merch on the way, by the way.
I'm so excited.
Merch
I can't stand it.
On the way.
I can't stand it.
It's going to be a happy time.
Because Bo knows merchandise.
Bo knows merchandise.
See y'all.
All right. See you, folks.